The compact crossover segment is incredibly competitive, and SUV buyers who are shopping in it tend to be very practical and look very closely at specs like cargo room and fuel efficiency. The Jeep Cherokee struggled compared to its rivals in both of those regards, so for 2019, Jeep has thoroughly revamped it from top to bottom to improve things like fuel economy and cargo space and so on. Let's see if all those changes have improved things.
How does it look?
When the Cherokee was introduced in 2013, it looked kind of weird with a very futuristic face. For 2019, it's far more conventional, resembling other members of the Jeep family. It's a much more handsome look, and especially in this limited trim, makes for a stylish and attractive small crossover.
How's the storage?
One of the things that Jeep really focused on with the 2019 Cherokee was improving cargo area, specifically making the opening and storage compartment a little bit wider. Jeep says you can lay down a bag of golf clubs now. Now, it's still not a class-leading amount of space, and the lift-over height is still a little bit high, but there is a lot of room with 55 cubic feet of space when you fold down those back seats, and as you're going to see, that's plenty of space for fitting your suitcases. The multi-level storage cubby provides lots of storage space, and this slot up front is specifically designed for stowing your phone. On top of the dash, there's even another storage cubby. There are two cup holders in the center console, plus door pockets for holding even more beverages.
Is it roomy?
The Cherokee feels plenty roomy up front. You sit quite high, yet have plenty of headroom and a commanding view out front. The rear seats are also plenty spacious for adult passengers, though the seat back is a little more upright than I'd like and headroom isn't as good as in the front. The seat slides back and forth a little bit so you can choose between cargo or people space.
How does the interior feel?
All of the materials inside this cabin look and feel great. Being that this is the top tier limited trim level, we've got really nice soft touch materials throughout, really nice soft leathers on these bolstered seats too. The secondary controls also feel great. I would say that this interior in terms of design and feel is at or above average for this class.
Is it well equipped?
This Cherokee Limited is pretty much fully loaded, and it packs all the goodies that we've come to expect from modern crossovers. That means convenience features like remote start and a power liftgate, premium touches like a heated steering wheel, heated and cooled front seats, and a giant sunroof. And active safety tech like pre-collision braking, lane keep assist, and a self-parking function.
How's the infotainment system?
The Cherokee's Uconnect touchscreen works flawlessly in every situation with swift responses, lots of functionality, and crisp graphics. You'll find support for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as optional navigation. Though the climate controls can be manipulated on the screen, I'm happy there are redundant physical controls too.
Is it a good daily driver?
It really is, and that starts with a really pleasant ride quality and a cabin that does a great job of keeping road and wind noise at a minimum. Now, one of the engineering changes to the Cherokee this year was that it's a fair bit lighter. Engineers pulled out a lot of weight, and you do feel that behind the wheel. It feels, well, a little bit lighter on its feet, just a little more eager to go where you point it at all times, which is really nice. Even though there's an engine stop-start feature on this engine to save a little bit of fuel, it's totally unobtrusive. You can turn it off if you want to, but I haven't found myself turning it off because it really hasn't given me as much of the shuddering or shaking as you get sometimes with those systems. One thing that we have to talk about is the 9-speed automatic transmission. Ever since the Cherokee came out, it's been something that we've complained about a little bit. There are still those moments when you go to accelerate and the transmission is totally, like just then, and the transmission is totally caught off guard and doesn't know what gear to be in. It's sort of like when you're not paying attention on a conference call and someone asks you a question and you're like, what? What's going on? And that really annoys me when I'm accelerating around town in this car.
Is it fun to drive?
The Cherokee has always had more satisfying steering and braking feel than some of its competition, and that continues on this one. And I do think that the ride and handling mix goes a little bit sportier than some of its competitors, so for me it is one of the more enjoyable crossovers in its class to drive. This is the new 2-liter turbo engine. It goes along with the base 4-cylinder and the V6, and I have to say I'm impressed by how swift this thing feels. Partly because the new Cherokee is a little bit lighter, but partly because there's so much torque from this engine. It really actually feels a lot brisker than I expected. 295 pound-feet of torque, that's more than in the V6, and 270 horsepower, which is the same as in the V6. So while it's certainly not a sporty vehicle, I've been pleasantly surprised with how much I've enjoyed driving the Cherokee.
How's the fuel economy?
Thanks to the reduced weight and improved aerodynamics, Cherokee fuel economy edges up a little bit, though it's still far from best in class. This 2-liter all-wheel drive model returns 21 miles per gallon city and 29 mpg highway. Good, but not great.
How much is it?
This Cherokee Limited, with lots of options, is just under $40,000, which is pretty pricey for this segment. The 4 options, Cherokees run from about $24,000 for the base model up to $36,000 for the Trailhawk Elite.
What are the negatives?
Despite the improvements, the Jeep Cherokee still doesn't offer quite as much cargo room or as impressive fuel economy as its rivals. And as we mentioned before, the automatic transmission isn't always our favorite.
Who should buy it?
With all the changes made for 2019, there's no reason now not to consider the Jeep Cherokee. It's a great, roomy crossover that's feature-packed with a lot of great options, making it absolutely worthy of test driving if you're shopping in this segment.